Now, hello everybody, and welcome to the Sunday evening training for LifeVantage. My name is Michael Epstein, and I'm gratefully an Elite Pro 8 with our beautiful company. And I'm going to share some things that will open your eyes and make you think about where you are. So I am Michael Epstein, and I've been in LifeVantage. Actually, it will be in October. It will be 10 years that I joined LifeVantage. And I've been in the industry of network marketing about 30 years. And I like to say that I have failed my way to the successes of where I am going. And my wife and I, Paloma, if you see some of the pictures behind me, you can see right there. In September, we'll be married 20 years. And I've been a massage therapist for 46 years and a martial artist for 56 years. And all I've ever done in my life is traded time for money. When I have a body on my table, I'm making money. When I have a student in front of me, I'm making money. And if neither one of those things aren't happening, I'm not making money. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that in your professions. My wife and I also own a hair salon called Duran Duran Hair Studio out of Laguna Niguel, California. And just like most companies over the past 3.5 months or so have had to shut down. And I had a talk with her in regards to if I was only doing massage therapy and we only had to depend on the hair salon for finances, we would have been in a big trouble, like a lot of people in the world today. With this coronavirus, it has paralyzed the world. It isn't the same world that we used to deal with a long time ago. How about January? It was still, everything was in normal world. Well, everything is different today. People need two main things. Number one, most important, better health. Number two, more structure of finances. So I have a almost 3-year-old boy named Mateo and an 8-month-old little boy named Micah. And I had Mateo when I was 60, and Mateo will be, I had Micah, he's 8 months old now, when I was 62, and I will be 63 years old. And those of you who don't know me on here, I'll be 63 before my son turns 3. And the reason why we waited to have children, because my wife wanted to have children. And I was petrified to have children because of the finances that I was bringing in. And a lot of people would say, Michael, just have the children and everything will fall into place. Well, you know what? It doesn't happen in the real world like that, unless I want to depend on other means like the government to create my living for me. I didn't want to do that. I knew that network marketing was a better way. I knew that network marketing can give me and my family freedom. My wife didn't think that that would happen. And to tell you the truth, she said that she would divorce me if I did another one of these things. Well, thank God I didn't listen to her. And I sat her down a little over a month ago and I asked her a question. I said, honey, let me ask you this question. And I'm saying this on purpose. We're at the end of this month. We've got 2 more days of this month. And I said this to her specifically. If I would have listened to you and I would have followed through and not done more network marketing, especially the main company, LifeVantage, where would we be today when you can't open your salon and people don't want me putting my hands on them as a massage therapist? What would we have to do? She says, I don't know. I said, do you understand where we are and what we're doing with a Pro 8 income and how it's covering every aspect of our life? And she said, yes. And she said, thank you for not listening to me. So, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. The hardest thing about this business is the people. Why? Because it's people's misconceptions of what they think they know about this industry. not of what they know about it. It's what they think they know. And what most people think they know about this industry is it's the person at the top that makes all the money. You have to be a salesperson. You got to sell to your friends and family. You have to know all about compensation plan and all about this and all about that. That's people's misconceptions. Well, let me tell you personally, in my group, I have just about 60,000 people. It's crazy. But I have several people that make far more money than I do. So that throws it out of the water that the person at the top makes all the money. It's the person that works the hardest and creates the balance and stays consistent is the one that makes the money. So I like saying, again, that I have been failing my way to the successes of where I'm going, because this is a journey for every single person. Everybody has their own challenges in this industry. But the great thing is that you keep growing as a person. You become more the best version of yourself. And I'm not even talking about taking the activators. Now let's talk about that. What we have as activation with the 3 theories of aging, the NRF1, the NRF2, and the NAD. Look, I've been in the nutritional industry for over 35, 40 years, and I have never seen anything that does what this does. I just think that we have the biggest kept secret in the world. So what is your intention? Why are you doing this? What are your dreams? When you think about your dream, does it give you a lump in the throat? Does it bring a tear to your eye? Does it give you the thought that I will do whatever it takes? I'll talk to as many people as I possibly can to attain that dream. And if that is true for you, then you won't worry about what the naysayers tell you that what you can or can't do. So when you talk to people and you share this information with other people, you need to dig deep. Remember that people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. So become a professional of asking people questions enough to find their pain. And when you find their pain, they're going to lean closer to you. When they feel like you're selling them, they're going to be going back like this, looking at their watch, looking around and saying, how can I get away from this person? Really, really important of how you approach this to somebody. And for myself, I don't tell them I have this business. I do at times. It all depends. I say, listen, I've got some information I'd love to share with you. It may or may not be for you, but I care enough about you, Steve or Susan, that you need to see this. And whatever you do with this information, it's up to you. But I care enough about you that you need to see this information. If it resonates with you like it does for me and my family, great. I'll share more information and see where that goes. Is that fair, Susan or Stephen? And pregnant pauses of when you're speaking to somebody is vital. Because somebody just goes da 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 and doesn't stop talking, it pushes people away. There was a commercial on TV a long time ago. Probably a lot of you are young and don't remember it, but it was E.F. Hutton. It was a financial group. And it used to say, when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. So when you speak, what does it take for you to create people to listen? See, this is trial and error. And what I said before, and I'll say it again, failing your way to the successes of where you're going. What else can you do in your life to create a residual income that can pay you and your family for generations? So with that said, I want to talk about where we are at the end of the month. So number one, do you have personally your $200 Autoship? Make sure that your credit cards are going through, that your Autoship is active at $200. Remember, this is about duplication. Now, what about the people that you've personally enrolled? You want to call each one of them and ask them, hey, I'm just checking with you. We're team members, we're business partners, we're friends, we're influencers, and let's make sure that you're active with your Autoship. And then, you know, if you have a large group like I do, I can't call every single person, but what I do is I call my leaders and I train them to call their leaders. Now, you might have 10 or 15 people in your group. You want to make sure that you're in communication, sending text messages, sending little bits and pieces of things. A lot of people's credit cards expire and they don't even know it. So you can go in your back office. I'm going to tell you how to do that in a moment, but you can go in your back office and find out when the last time that they have actually ordered. And you can go into what's called detailed genealogy in your back office. If you don't know how to get there, go into your office and you know, we could show you how to do that. But when you go into your main office, you go into your virtual office, and then you go up to the top and you find your detailed genealogy. And then you look up and you could see when the last order. Now, there are two aspects of that, because it'll come up black, which people are active, and then it'll come up red that people aren't active. And then that's where you could find whether someone's credit card, maybe they haven't ordered in 6 months. And so people's out of sight, out of mind, especially through this pandemic, they forgot all about Protandim if their credit card lapsed. And my credit card for my own hyper wallet, it ends on in 2 days. So I had to make sure that that was re-engaged. And if I didn't do that, all of a sudden next month it wouldn't go through. Now, I wouldn't be a fool and not do that, because I have a check that's attached to that one. And I have to make sure that my Autoship is there. So let's see. So when you're looking up that last order, just make sure and go through and talk to your personally enrolled people and duplicate that same thing. Another thing that's really important, people are, you know, the goal of what we do in here is to rank advance. So what you want to do is look up striking distance. And if you go into your main virtual office and you look to the right side, you'll see an area where it says within striking distance. And then you click on the person's name. And when you go into your back office and you look into the detailed genealogy, you could click on the person's name and it'll show the structure of what rank they are presently. And then you could look in when they last ordered, and if there was nothing, and then you could click on, let's say they're a Pro 3. And so you click on Pro 3, and then you click where it says you move up 1 and you go to Pro 4. What if they're 45 points away from being Pro 4? That's the striking distance. And when you look in the striking distance, you could look up 5, 10, or 5, 15, and 30% away from how close they are to their next rank. And that's where you, especially, I mean, look, we still have 2 days, but the best time to start doing this is on the 15th or the 20th. So it gives you plenty of time to start getting a hold of your group and checking where they are. And another new thing that we have, it's called daily pay. Now, if you're like, well, I don't really want to be on an Autoship right now, I'm just going to wait to the end of the month. Well, the daily pay does not work if you're not active on your Autoship. So you want to make sure that you're up on that. And I'm looking at my daily pay and it's pretty significant. It's just, I go, wow, that's happening. I didn't even know that. So also, if you have Chinese people in your organization, make sure that you become an ambassador. And I didn't know that I was missing out on money because I wasn't registered as an ambassador. So I quickly resolved that. Thank you, Amy, and for letting me know that. And so that's something that's really good. Another thing I want you to think about is the qualifications for your check match bonuses. Now, if you're a Pro 3 and above, the check match bonus means that that you get 5% on 10% of anybody that you've personally enrolled, and 5% on the second, third, fourth, and fifth direct enrollments of anybody. But what you have to have is you have to have $100, 100 points of new business in that month. And as long as you have that, you make that rank amount. And let me tell you something, that check match bonus, as your organization grows, it grows significantly. I have 2 Pro 10s in my organization, so you can imagine that. And that's 5% of their overall residual check that comes in on the 15th of the month. And those aren't, let me tell you, that's all of you will get there as long as you stick and stay consistent with that. All I could say is that. So really make sure, and that all the way up to Pro 6, that happens. When you hit Pro 7 and up, you don't have to worry about that. And this is the only company I've ever seen that happen where it's automatic. As long as you're a Pro 7 and up, you don't have to worry about that. Why? Because we're out helping you build your businesses, so we're not focusing as much on enrollments. But I know that Pro 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, especially where we are right now, are out being active, and I'm one of those people. The other thing to really think about and support is our mastery training on Saturdays when it's at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. And the company has been putting that together and bringing on some great people. And Marcy Steiner did a great job, and so did everybody else on last Saturday. And so really pay attention to that and invite people to that training. There's plenty of room for people to be on there, and it's all about education. You're getting nutritional education from one of our amazing doctors, and you're getting stories of how people got to where they are, and then you're getting education of how to do this business. And we've been very consistent with that, and it's very powerful. The other thing is build towards our Tuesday evening presentation that the company puts together by one of our elites. And those they just keep getting better and better and better. So if somebody, you don't know what to do, remember it's about duplication. Hey, listen, Susan or Stephen, I want you to jump on this call with me. Remember to say that with me. You're in that with them, and you want them to be on with you. On Tuesday at 6 p.m. Mountain, I believe 7 p.m. Mountain, you need to jump on this call and hear a gentleman by the name of Brandon Cunningham talk about his story and talk about how he created this and how we can maybe relate to that too. Very, very powerful. So now I'm going to talk about a couple of things that are going on as well. Number one, the influencer program. Now it ends in 2 days. And in order to do that, you need to have, let's see, increasing your organization by helping 7 people hit the rank of Pro 3 in your organization. Now, this is obviously, you can't do that in the next 2 days, but if you've been on that, I know a few people that have hit the influencer program in my group, you get some pretty significant incentives from hitting that, as well as you need to make sure you get 14 people on at least a 40 PV, which is 1 bottle of Protandim. Now, those of you that are elites and you're teetering between Pro 6 and Pro 7, you need to have 7 out of 11 months for the elite retreat, and that's going to be hopefully in December in Maui. And so you have to hit 7 out of the 11 months, and if you hit within the next several months, I don't know the exact ending of it, but as long as you hit the elite status of Pro 7 and you hold that for 2 consecutive months of being a brand new elite, then you also qualify to become a on the island getaway, we call it. Now, another thing that it's coming up to the end, which is June 30th, and that's for the Pro 5 Summit. Let me tell you, when I went to the Pro 5 Summit, it shifted everything. And some people come up, hey, remember when we went to the Pro 5 Summit? That was right before Darren Jensen joined us. And LifeVantage flies you to Snowbird Summit. And then they they give you food, they give you drinks, Axios, they accommodate your travel completely, and the education that you get for 2.5 days from the leaders of this company, it's unbelievable. That Pro 5 Summit was one of the greatest things I've ever attended. And that's what you want to shoot for if you're not at a Pro 5 yet, because that teeters you and takes you to a different level of yourself in this business. So you really, really want to focus on getting to the Pro 5 Summit. And now the incentive of, when we haven't been giving our, we haven't done the elite retreat or the elite academies. So LifeVantage, instead of pocketing the money, they're giving it back to people. So if you get to be able to reach Pro 2 in 30 days, the company's going to give you $100. If you earn $250 when you reach Pro 3 in 90 days, that's also the Paysetter program. Specifically the Paysetter program. And if you hit and you hold Paysetter, let me rephrase, because I thought I was on a different paper here. Pro 2 in 30 days, you get $100. If you hit Pro 3, you get $350. And by doing that, and you create 3 Paysetters in your group, you become Paysetter Pro. And then you get an additional amount of money. I don't remember the exact amount. I think it's 250 plus 350. I think you make it a maximum of about $700, but that's $700 cash in your pocket. That's pretty good. That's from doing the correct activity you're already supposed to be doing. And the more you develop Pro 3s, which is the foundational rank in our company, because when people hit Pro 3, they will not quit. The other thing that we were giving the cash incentives away. So if let's say that you were a Pro 3 and you drop back down to a Pro 2 and you recreated yourself to become a Pro 3 again, LifeVantage is going to give you $250 cash. Now that went for the month of May and the month of June. If you hit Pro 4 and then you regain that again, if you fell out, they're going to give you $500. If you hit Pro 5, $1,000. That's cash to you in your pocket just from doing the activity you should already be doing anyways. And Pro 6, $2,500. Now, half of that money goes to their direct enroller. Do you think they're happy? Yes. Am I happy? Yes, very much so. So, what other company does this for you? We're so fortunate of having what we have with this company. This company, Darren Jensen, our leadership, our team, our executive team has our back. Now, being in this company for 10 years, I have never been in a company for 10 years where I wake up in the morning, think of LifeVantage. When I go to sleep at night, I think of LifeVantage. I text people all through the days about this. Why? Because I care like you guys care. So the next thing, Vegas. Now, we're not sure what's going on with that yet. That's all I'll say. But what I will say is build towards our next event. And our next event, it still will happen. I will say that. Our next event for our global convention will happen. And you have the ability to earn points by enrolling people, by bringing people as in customers, and also helping people rank advance. And I'll just give a brief aspect of that. And that is if you advance to Pro 3, you get 25 points, Pro 4, 50 points, Pro 5, 100 points, Pro 6, 150, Pro 7, 250, Pro 8, 500, Pro 9, 1,000. You become a Pro 10, you get 3,000, executive master carry, 4,000, and executive master, which we don't even have any, you get 5,000. And what that means is that they're going to give you product free or cash free when you get to the event. And when you get to a certain point, then you start getting cash bonuses like $250 for and VIP seating. And a lot of you, any rank can get this when you start building up these points when you're bringing people in. But $1,000 cash bonus, $2,000 cash bonus, $3,000 and $5,000 cash bonus. Plus you get to sit up with the Pro 10s up in the front VIP section. That's pretty amazing. When you sit up there, you feel excited, or when you get to sit up there with the elites, it's a different aspect. And then especially when you don't have to worry about, I got to go get in line and everything, that makes things a lot more difficult. So that's where we are at the end of the month. So really think about people, if they have their qualification of their Autoship, if their credit cards have lapsed, really dig in. You've got 2 days to make sure that happens. There's no back dates, especially because this is the end of the fiscal quarter, or the fiscal year, actually, December or June 30th. Make sure you follow up with people. Send people little snippets of what's going on. And I saw a couple of really cool videos that has Darren Jensen on it, talking about this New York, the NASDAQ ringing the bell. And then with the ABC video, remember that ABC video is still, it may be 15, almost 16 years old, but that will never change. The story is the story. No matter what your story is, will never change. It's changed where you become now, and it's going to change in your future, but your past story is your past story, and utilize that. And connect with these people, because when you're reaching out to people, you never know what their high noon is. When you find their high noon, it might be at the right time. Now, I'll tell you, I have re-enrolled several people that were in the business, that stopped the business, and came back to the business because it was the right time for them, and they're different place in their life, and they're looking at LifeVantage in a different way. Create closing questions. You know, Eric Worre, one of our really good friends and mentors, created one of the most amazing sayings. If I, would you? Hey, listen, Steve, if I were to send you an ABC investigative report and something on 3 theories of aging that may or may not blow your mind, but if it relates like it did to me, would you watch it? If I, would you? Create stories like that. Create closing questions. Ask people questions to make them lean in. Don't try to sell people. Hey, listen, if you and I had the chance to go to Hawaii, all expenses paid, how would that be for you? How would that feel for you? What would you be willing to do? If you were able to pay your car payment every single month effortlessly, how would that be for you and your family? If you were able to take your family on 2 vacations a year, how would that feel? When you're creating feelings, you're getting people to think, you're getting people to taste it, and it makes a difference. I created an acronym last night around 2:30 in the morning, and you could steal it from me. Uninspire. So, inspire, I-N-S-P-I-R-E. Inspire, I, intention. What's your intention? And needs. What are your needs in your life? What are you willing to do to create the needs to become a natural thing? S, strive. Strive to be better, stronger, and help other people at the same time. P, push. Push through. You know, Chuck Yeager, who broke the sound barrier many, many years back in the jet, he pushed through. And I don't know if you know the story, but there were several pilots that when they'd hit that barrier and all of a sudden they'd get to that point of breaking the sound barrier, the whole jet would start doing this. And what they did is they let the fear overrule them. They backed off and their jet broke apart. But what Chuck Yeager did is when he felt that, he jumped on it and broke through that barrier and broke the sound barrier. That was the way that Chuck Yeager did that. What are you willing to do to break your sound barrier? So the I, internalize. Create this to be part of you. Remember, you may be in LifeVantage, but until LifeVantage is in you, you probably won't be willing to do what it takes to get yourself to the next level for you and your family, to help other people create choices so you have those choices. The R, reflect. Think about your day. Think about your week. Think about your month from the past of what you've done. What can you do better to create that, to take yourself to the next level? And the last E, engage. Stay engaged. Don't let little things get in your way. I'll say a story about one of my dear distributors, Arthur and Kelly Lupshaw. And they were going to, when they first joined, they were very busy in their professional business as physical therapists, one of the top physical therapists in the severe stroke and traumatic brain injury. So they were signed up to do an Olympic distance triathlon up, I believe it was Wildflower, if I'm not mistaken. They had everything paid for. And after they finally went to go see the Long Beach Elite Academy, they understood that you show up to events. And they already had this paid, and there was an Elite Academy that was happening while that race was happening. And again, they paid for everything. So they looked at each other and they said this: what would a Pro 10 do? And you know what? They forfeited the money and they went to that Elite Academy, and they are pushing very close to Pro 7 right now because of the decisions they've made, and they have built an amazing team. Think of where you are. Think of the people that you've brought in. Don't listen to what the naysayers tell you, because they don't know what is in your head. Stay steadfast, stay on purpose, know what your dream is, create your intention, because you and your family and your friends deserve it, especially in this time of need where so many people are on their knees praying for a difference. And now they want to reclose a lot of the stuff that has been opened. I took my child to gymnastics yesterday, and the teacher that owns the facility, she says, if we have to close down again, we will have to close our doors. We cannot go through this all again. And a lot of parents don't want to bring children because of the mask and the whole situation. I said, we will show up all the time. But a lot of people are sitting like that. We have the biggest secret for them. Be willing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, to talk to somebody from your heart, connect your brain to your heart, to your emotion when you're speaking to somebody, and have the intention. And I promise you this, it's only a matter of time and how long it'll take you to get to Master Pro 10. As long as you don't give up and you help enough people get what they want, I promise you, you will have what you want. So I want to say thank you very much. Be a professional listener. Mirror people's conversations. Let them know that you hear them. Don't talk through them or over them. Talk with them. Talk to their heart. And we will see you on the beaches of wherever we want to be. So thanks again, guys. My name is Michael Epstein. I am a grateful Elite Pro 8 with LifeVantage, the most amazing company in the world. And may God bless all of your families. Thank you so much for being here.